Seeds seem like the ultimate health food. Tiny powerhouses of fiber and omega-3s. Doctors recommend them. Labels promise heart health, but hidden dangers lurk in every bag. From salmonella contamination to rancid oils fueling silent inflammation, some brands cause more harm than good. Today, we expose 9 seed brands to avoid and the 2 that are actually safe. Coming in at number 9, we have great value sunflower seeds. Walmart's house brand promises affordability and quality. The bright yellow packaging suggests sunshine and wholesome snacking. You see it on the shelf next to name brands costing twice as much and think, this is the smart choice. Budget-friendly nutrition from America's most trusted retailer. Millions of families depend on great value products every single day. But what inspectors, laboratory tests, and countless consumer complaints have revealed tells a very different and deeply troubling story. Great value sunflower seeds have faced multiple consumer complaints regarding stale, rancid product reaching store shelves long past its prime. When seeds go rancid, the oils inside oxidize through a chemical process called lipid peroxidation. You might notice a bitter, sharp aftertaste when you chew, maybe a slightly chemical or paint-like smell when you first tear open the bag. Most people shrug it off. They assume seeds just taste like that. They keep snacking without a second thought. But here is what most people never realize and what could be quietly damaging their health with every handful. Rancid seed oils create free radicals in your body. These unstable molecules attack healthy cells, damage DNA, and accelerate aging at the cellular level. For seniors managing cholesterol or taking blood thinners like warfarin, Coumadin, or aspirin therapy, this oxidative stress compounds cardiovascular risk silently and relentlessly. According to a 2022 study published in the Journal of Food Science, oxidized lipids in rancid nuts and seeds can accelerate arterial plaque formation by up to 18% in high-risk individuals. 18%. Think about what that means. Every handful of stale seeds could be quietly damaging your arteries without you even knowing it. The plaque builds up, the arteries narrow, and one day, what seemed like a harmless snacking habit contributes to a cardiac event that changes your life forever. Walmart's supply chain prioritizes volume over freshness. They move product at scale that smaller retailers cannot match. Seeds may sit in regional distribution centers for months before even reaching local stores. Then they sit on shelves for additional weeks. By the time you tear open that bag expecting a healthy snack, the damage is already done. The crunch feels normal. The salt tastes fine. But inside, those omega-6 oils have transformed from beneficial fats into inflammatory compounds your body treats as toxins. Your cardiovascular system processes oxidized fats differently than fresh ones. They trigger inflammatory cascades. They contribute to arterial stiffness. They make platelets stickier, increasing clotting risk. For seniors already dealing with hypertension, elevated cholesterol, or those recovering from cardiovascular procedures, this hidden inflammatory load adds up meal after meal, week after week. The promise was budget-friendly nutrition from America's largest retailer. The reality is oxidized fats silently stressing your heart and accelerating arterial damage while you think you are doing something good for your health. If you are over 60 and managing any cardiovascular condition, those few dollars you saved could cost you far more than you ever expected. David Seeds. David Seeds has been a household name for decades. Baseball stadiums across America sell them at concession stands. Road trips would not be the same without that familiar red bag. Backyard barbecues, camping trips, long afternoons watching the game. Their sunflower seeds are everywhere you look. The branding screams American tradition and simple pleasure. Your father probably ate them. Maybe your grandfather too. You have seen that iconic red packaging your entire life. But tradition does not equal safety, and familiarity breeds a false sense of security that companies exploit. In 2016, David Seeds issued a voluntary recall after Listeria monocytogenes was detected in their production facilities. This was not a minor issue. This was a deadly pathogen found where your food is made. Listeria is especially dangerous for seniors. The bacteria thrive at refrigerator temperatures where most pathogens die. It can survive freezing. Standard food safety practices that protect against other bacteria often fail against Listeria. The CDC reports that adults over 65 are 4 times more likely to be hospitalized from Listeria infection than younger populations. 4 times the risk. For those on immunosuppressant medications for conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, or those managing diabetes where immune function is already compromised, an infection can escalate from mild stomach discomfort to life-threatening sepsis within days. The mortality rate for serious Listeria infections in seniors approaches 15 to 20%. I remember talking to a woman at a health seminar last year. She had attended specifically because she wanted to learn about food safety after what happened to her family. She told me her 72-year-old husband spent 11 days in the hospital after a listeria infection. 11 days of IV antibiotics, uncertainty, and mounting medical bills. They never traced the exact source, but he had been eating sunflower seeds daily as part of what he thought was a heart-healthy routine. She said the doctors told her his age combined with his diabetes medication made him extremely vulnerable to bacterial infections. He survived, thankfully, but the medical bills were devastating. They wiped out a significant portion of their retirement savings. But contamination history is not the only concern with David's seeds. Their products are notoriously high in sodium. A single 1-ounce serving contains over 220 milligrams of sodium. And let us be completely honest with ourselves. Who actually stops at one serving? A handful turns into 2 handfuls. Then half the bag disappears while you watch television. Before you know it, you have consumed 3 or 4 servings without thinking about it. Seniors managing hypertension or taking ACE inhibitors and ARBs for heart health are unknowingly spiking their blood pressure with every salty handful. The American Heart Association recommends seniors limit daily sodium intake to 1,500 milligrams. One enthusiastic snacking session with David's seeds can easily account for half or more of that entire daily allowance. Your medication works to lower blood pressure. The seeds work against it. You are fighting yourself and losing. The shells look clean. The flavor is addictive. That is by design. Food scientists engineer these products to trigger reward centers in your brain that encourage overconsumption. But between the bacterial history and the sodium bomb hiding in every bag, David's Seeds is a gamble your heart cannot afford to take. They promised a classic American snack built on decades of trust. What they delivered was a sodium-loaded product with a contamination history that put seniors at serious and unnecessary risk. Most people never learn which seeds are actually safe, but we will break it down at the very end of this video. Stick around, because the solution could change how you shop forever and finally give you peace of mind. Now, at number 7, we have Planters Sunflower Kernels. Planters is owned by Hormel Foods, one of the largest food conglomerates in America with annual revenues exceeding $12 billion. Their iconic Mr. Peanut mascot has been selling snacks since 1916. That monocle, top hat, and cane suggest sophistication, refinement, and premium quality. When you see that character on the label, you assume you are getting the best. Surely a brand this established, this recognized, this deeply embedded in American culture would prioritize safety above all else, right? Not exactly. Planters sunflower kernels have faced scrutiny over inconsistent quality control that raises serious questions about their manufacturing oversight. Consumer reports and online reviews have documented batches with visible discoloration that should never have left the factory. Dark spots and grayish kernels mixed in with golden ones. Green tinges that suggest improper maturation. When you open that familiar blue canister expecting uniform quality, instead, some customers have found seeds that look almost bruised, discolored, or clearly past their prime. Discoloration in seeds often indicates mold growth or improper storage conditions during transportation and warehousing. And mold produces mycotoxins. These are invisible chemical compounds that you cannot taste, smell, or see, but they accumulate in your liver over time with every exposure. Mycotoxins are documented carcinogens and hepatotoxins. They damage liver cells slowly and progressively. For seniors with compromised liver function from decades of medication use, alcohol consumption, or natural aging, mycotoxin exposure adds unnecessary strain to an already burdened organ. For those taking statins for cholesterol management, the combination is particularly concerning. Statins are processed through the liver. Your liver is already working overtime to metabolize these medications, manage cholesterol synthesis, filter blood toxins, and maintain hundreds of essential functions. The last thing it needs is a toxic load from contaminated seeds, adding to that burden day after day. Planters' massive production scale means seeds are sourced from multiple suppliers across different geographic regions with varying quality standards. Some suppliers maintain excellent practices. Others cut corners to meet price demands. Quality varies dramatically from batch to batch, with no way for consumers to know which supplier filled their particular container. One canister might be perfectly fresh, harvested recently from a quality farm. The next could be months old from a supplier with inadequate storage, quietly developing mold beneath the surface where you cannot see it until the damage is done. The promise was premium quality from a trusted name that has been feeding American families for over a century. The reality is inconsistent sourcing and quality control that leaves seniors playing Russian roulette with every purchase. When your liver is already working hard to keep you healthy through medication management and natural detoxification, Why add unnecessary risk from a snack you thought was safe? Moving on to number 6. Spitz sunflower seeds. Spitz markets itself as a bold, flavorful alternative to bland competitors. Their cracked pepper variety, dill pickle, ranch, and other intense flavors promise exciting taste experiences that regular seeds cannot deliver. The packaging is bright, energetic, and eye-catching. They clearly target a younger demographic with their marketing. But plenty of seniors grab these bags too, attracted by the flavor variety after years of eating plain seeds. But exciting flavors often mask dangerous realities that consumers never consider until it is too late. Spitz seeds are heavily processed with artificial flavorings, taste enhancers, and preservatives that extend shelf life at the cost of your health. The ingredient lists read like chemistry experiments. For seniors, sensitive to MSG or monosodium glutamate, which is hidden under dozens of different names on ingredient labels, these additives can trigger debilitating migraines within hours of consumption. Excitotoxins in these flavorings overstimulate nerve cells, causing inflammation and pain signals that leave you in bed with the lights off. One customer review I came across described getting a splitting headache every single time she ate the ranch flavor. She loved the taste. But within 3 hours, a migraine would set in that lasted the rest of the day. She did not connect it to the seeds for months because she never suspected a snack could cause such severe symptoms. When she finally eliminated them and the migraine stopped, she realized the connection. But the bigger issue is sodium. Again, Spitz-flavored varieties contain up to 290 milligrams of sodium per 1 ounce serving. That is higher than almost any competitor. Combined with the natural tendency to overconsume intensely flavored snacks, since that is exactly how they are designed, seniors can easily ingest over 1,000 milligrams of sodium in a single snacking session while watching a movie or reading. That is 2/3 of the American Heart Association's recommended daily maximum for seniors. From one snack. The flavors are engineered by food scientists to be irresistible. They are designed to make you keep reaching into that bag. But irresistible becomes dangerous when you are managing blood pressure with medication and diet. Consumer complaints have also flagged inconsistent shell quality that varies wildly between bags. Some bags contain unusually hard, almost rock-like shells that differ dramatically from normal sunflower seed shells. These abnormally hard shells can crack dental work with a single unexpected bite. For seniors with crowns, bridges, veneers, or dentures, a broken tooth from what should have been a harmless snack is not just painful, it is expensive, requiring emergency dental visits that can cost hundreds or thousands of dollars. And it is potentially dangerous if shell fragments are swallowed and cause internal abrasions or blockages. One reviewer described biting down on a shell so unexpectedly hard, it cracked his 5-year-old porcelain crown. The replacement cost him $1,400 out of pocket after insurance. All from a $3 bag of seeds. They promised bold flavor and satisfying crunch. What they delivered is a sodium-packed, additive-laden product that threatens your blood pressure, triggers migraines, and endangers your dental health with every bag. If you are finding this information valuable and want to protect yourself from hidden food dangers, consider subscribing. It is completely free, and it means you will never miss these important food safety investigations that could protect your health and save you from expensive medical problems. Coming in at number 5 is Fisher Nuts and Seeds. Fisher has been in the nut and seed business since 1921. Over 100 years of experience in this industry. A century of operations should mean perfected quality control, refined processes, and institutional knowledge about how to keep products fresh and safe. Their heritage branding suggests old-fashioned values, reliable products, and the kind of company your grandparents trusted. But longevity does not guarantee safety. And sometimes old companies rely on outdated practices that modern food safety science has left behind. Fisher sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds have faced repeated complaints about freshness issues that suggest systemic problems with inventory management and storage. Open a bag and sometimes you are hit with a musty, almost cardboard-like smell that immediately tells you something is wrong. That distinctive odor indicates the seeds have begun oxidizing. The polyunsaturated fats inside, the same healthy fats that make seeds nutritious, are breaking down through lipid peroxidation and turning rancid. It is not dramatic or obvious. It is subtle. You might not even consciously register it, but your body knows. Your cells know, and they respond accordingly. Here is why this matters for seniors specifically, and why it should concern anyone over 60 regardless of their current health status. Rancid oils are pro-inflammatory. They trigger inflammatory cascades throughout your body. Chronic inflammation is the underlying driver of nearly every age-related disease that kills Americans. Heart disease, arthritis, cognitive decline, and dementia. Even certain cancers have inflammation as a contributing factor. Studies from Harvard Medical School school and published in journals like Circulation, have linked chronic low-grade inflammation to accelerated aging and increased mortality risk in adults over 60. The inflammatory markers in your blood, things like C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, predict heart attacks, strokes, and death from all causes. When you consume oxidized fats from rancid seeds, you are adding fuel to an inflammatory fire already burning in your body. You are accelerating the very processes that steal years from your life. Fisher's packaging does not always include clear, readable expiration dates positioned where consumers can easily find them. Some bags use cryptic lot codes that require calling customer service or looking up online decoder tools to interpret. Who has time for that while standing in a grocery store aisle? Seniors shopping quickly, perhaps feeling rushed or fatigued, may grab a bag that has been sitting on the shelf for over a year. By then, the seeds look perfectly fine from the outside. The bag is sealed. Everything appears normal, but inside, they have chemically degraded into something your body treats as a toxin rather than nutrition. The promise was a trusted heritage brand with wholesome products backed by a century of experience. The reality is outdated inventory practices and poor date labeling, putting seniors at inflammatory risk with every purchase. 100 years in business means nothing if quality control has not kept pace with modern food safety standards and consumer expectations. Why do you think the FDA lets brands get away with practices and ingredients that are banned in other developed countries? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I genuinely want to hear what you think is really going on with food regulation in this country. At number 4, we have Terrasoul Superfoods Chia Seeds. Terrasoul positions itself as a premium superfood brand for health-conscious consumers who care about what they put in their bodies. Their chia seeds are marketed to people seeking omega-3s, fiber, and plant-based nutrition without the saturated fats of animal products. The packaging features clean, minimalist fonts, earthy colors, and abundant promises of organic purity. Everything about their branding screams healthy, ethical, and safe. You look at that package and think, this is exactly what a health food should be. Surely this is a safe choice for someone trying to eat right? Not so fast. In 2014, the FDA issued an import alert on chia seeds from certain South American suppliers due to confirmed Salmonella contamination. While Terrasoul claims rigorous sourcing standards and third-party testing protocols, the global chia seed supply chain remains deeply vulnerable to contamination at multiple points. Seeds pass through multiple handlers, storage facilities, warehouses, and international distributors before ever reaching your pantry. At any point along that complex chain, contamination can occur. A single break in temperature control during shipping. One contaminated processing facility where seeds from multiple sources are combined. Inadequate sanitation at a packaging plant. That is all it takes for bacteria to enter the supply and reach consumers. Salmonella poses particularly severe risks for seniors that younger consumers do not face. The CDC estimates that adults over 65 account for nearly 40% of all salmonella-related hospitalizations in the United States. 40% of hospitalizations from a single pathogen come from seniors. The numbers are staggering when you consider seniors are only about 16% of the population. Symptoms of salmonella infection include severe diarrhea, dangerous dehydration, sustained fever, and abdominal cramping that can last for days. For seniors on diuretics for heart failure or blood pressure medications, rapid fluid loss from diarrhea can trigger dangerous electrolyte imbalances within hours. Potassium levels crash, potentially causing heart arrhythmias. Sodium levels spike or plummet. Kidney function suffers as blood volume drops. What starts as apparent food poisoning can cascade into acute kidney injury, hospitalization, and in severe cases, kidney failure requiring dialysis within days. Chia seeds also pose a unique physical risk that few people ever discuss and that health food marketing completely ignores. When exposed to any liquid, chia seeds expand dramatically and rapidly. They can swell up to 12 times their original dry size within minutes. They form a thick, gel-like mucilaginous coating almost immediately upon contact with moisture. Seniors with swallowing difficulties, a condition called dysphagia that affects many older adults, or those with esophageal conditions like strictures or motility disorders have reported frightening choking incidents when consuming dry or only partially hydrated chia seeds. What goes down your throat as a tiny, seemingly harmless seed can swell into an obstructing gelatinous mass in your throat or digestive tract. Emergency room doctors have reported cases of chia seed bolus obstructions that required medical medical intervention to clear. The promise was superfood nutrition from a premium organic source. The reality is contamination risk from a complex global supply chain and a choking hazard hiding in those tiny black seeds. The superfood label on the package does not make them super safe for seniors. Do not go anywhere yet. The answer to which seeds are actually safe is coming, but only at the very end of this video. Most people never learn how to fix this problem, but you will if you stay until the finish. Moving to number 3, Nutiva organic hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are celebrated by nutritionists and health advocates for their complete protein profile containing all essential amino acids and their nearly perfect omega fatty acid balance. Nutiva markets their organic hemp seeds as the pinnacle of plant-based nutrition. Their branding emphasizes sustainability, environmental consciousness, purity, and comprehensive health benefits. The word organic appears prominently on every surface of the package. You look at that premium packaging and think, this is as clean as it gets. This is exactly what healthy eating should look like. But recent laboratory revelations cast serious doubt on these reassuring claims. Third-party lab tests conducted by the Clean Label Project, an independent nonprofit that tests consumer products for contaminants, found that some hemp seed products, including brands in Nutiva's premium category, contained detectable levels of heavy metals. Specifically, lead and cadmium were identified in testing. These are not substances you can taste, smell, or see in your food. They are completely invisible to your senses, silent, undetectable without laboratory equipment, and they accumulate in your body over time with every exposure, never leaving your tissues naturally. Your kidneys bear the primary burden of filtering heavy metals from your bloodstream. They work constantly to remove these toxins, but the process is slow and incomplete. For seniors already managing chronic kidney disease, a condition affecting over 15% of adults over 65, or those with reduced kidney function simply from natural aging and decades of wear, heavy metal exposure accelerates kidney damage progressively. Your kidneys are already working harder than they did when you were 30. Their filtration rate has declined naturally. Every additional toxic load from contaminated food chips away at their remaining capacity, bringing you closer to serious kidney disease or even dialysis. Lead accumulation also profoundly affects cognitive function and brain health. Studies published in the Journal of the American Medical Association and Neurology have linked chronic low-level lead exposure to memory problems, processing speed decline, and significantly increased dementia risk in older adults. Lead damages neurons directly and disrupts neurotransmitter function. The damage is cumulative and essentially irreversible. Every exposure adds to your lifetime burden. Nutiva's hemp seeds are sourced from Canadian farms, which generally maintain excellent agricultural standards and regulatory oversight. But here is what those organic labels do not tell you. Hemp is a bioaccumulator plant. It is actually used specifically for soil remediation because it pulls toxins from contaminated ground. Hemp absorbs whatever is in the soil where it grows, including heavy metals from historical industrial contamination, agricultural runoff, or natural geological deposits. Even organic certification does not guarantee freedom from environmental pollutants. Organic means no synthetic pesticides or fertilizers were applied. It says nothing about what was already in the ground before planting. The promise was pure, organic plant nutrition from a responsible company. The reality is potential heavy metal contamination silently burdening your kidneys, accumulating in your brain, and contributing to cognitive decline. The organic label on the front of the package cannot protect you from what is already in the ground where those plants grew. At number 2, Bob's Red Mill flax seeds. Bob's Red Mill has built a powerful reputation on old-fashioned quality and traditional food production methods. Their rustic packaging featuring the company founder's friendly face and their wholesome branding evoke images of stone milling, heritage grains, and honest ingredients. Seniors across America trust this brand implicitly for oatmeal, flour, baking mixes, and seeds. That friendly bearded face on the package feels like your grandfather reassuring you the food is good. But trust built on marketing can be misplaced. Flax seeds contain naturally occurring compounds called cyanogenic glycosides, specifically linamarin and linostatin. When consumed and processed by your digestive system, these compounds can release small amounts of hydrogen cyanide. Yes, actual cyanide. The same compound used historically as a poison. In healthy younger adults with robust liver function, the body neutralizes these cyanide traces easily through enzymatic detoxification pathways. The amounts are small enough that efficient systems handle them without issue. But seniors Seniors with compromised liver function from decades of medication metabolism, moderate alcohol consumption, or natural aging-related decline may process these compounds significantly less efficiently. The detoxification pathways that cleared cyanide easily at 40 work slower and less completely at 70. What your body handled without notice in middle age becomes an accumulating toxic burden in your senior years. Bob's Red Mill flax seeds have also faced numerous consumer complaints about texture and taste inconsistencies that suggest quality control problems. Some batches arrive with a slightly bitter, almost chemical or paint-like taste that differs noticeably from fresh flax. That distinctive bitterness is a telltale sign of lipid oxidation. The healthy omega-3 fats have begun breaking down into inflammatory compounds. Ground flax seeds are especially vulnerable to oxidation because the protective outer seed coat has been mechanically broken, directly exposing the delicate omega-3 fatty acids inside to oxygen. Those omega-3s you specifically bought the flax seeds for, the reason they are marketed as heart-healthy, start degrading through oxidation the moment the seed is ground. By the time that bag reaches your pantry, weeks or months later, much of the nutritional benefit may have converted into inflammatory oxidized fats. Consumer reports have documented bags with visible moisture damage despite appearing sealed, seeds clumping into dense masses that should be loose, dry, and freely flowing. Moisture accelerates rancidity dramatically and creates perfect conditions for mold growth. Seniors with respiratory conditions like COPD, asthma, or compromised immune function can experience aggravated symptoms from inhaling mold spores when opening a contaminated bag. One reviewer described a musty cloud of dust and spores visibly rising when she opened a bag that looked perfectly sealed from the outside. The promise was traditional quality and wholesome nutrition from a brand built on heritage values. The reality is naturally occurring cyanogenic compounds, oxidation risks destroying nutritional value, and moisture damage threatening your respiratory and overall health. Sometimes the most trusted names with the friendliest packaging have the most hidden problems lurking inside. Isn't it strange how billion-dollar food companies keep having recalls, contamination events, and quality failures, yet their products remain on every store shelf unchanged? What do you think is really going on here with food safety oversight? Let me know in the comments below. And now, coming in at number 1, the worst offender on our entire list, Nature's Garden Omega-3 Deluxe Mix. Nature's Garden markets their Humies Omega-3 Deluxe Mix as a convenient, heart-healthy snack combining walnuts, almonds, cranberries, and various seeds, including pumpkin and sunflower. The packaging proudly displays heart health claims, omega-3 benefit statements, and images suggesting cardiovascular wellness. For seniors managing heart conditions, recovering from cardiac events, or trying to prevent cardiovascular disease, this seems like an absolutely ideal choice. Everything you need for heart health conveniently combined in one resealable bag. It is not. This product represents the most dangerous seed option for seniors on our list, and understanding why reveals how food marketing can endanger your health. In 2023, Nature's Garden issued a recall affecting multiple products due to potential listeria contamination traced back to their manufacturing facility. This was not a supplier problem or a random isolated incident. The contamination was found in their own production environment where they process and package food for consumers. Listeria monocytogenes can survive refrigeration temperatures that kill most other foodborne pathogens. It actually thrives in cold environments. It can survive freezing. It can even multiply slowly under refrigeration. Standard food safety practices that effectively protect against Salmonella, E. coli, and other common bacteria often fail completely against Listeria's unique survival abilities. You cannot store your way to safety with this pathogen. For seniors over 65, Listeria infection carries a fatality rate of approximately 20% in serious cases. 1 in 5 seniors who develop severe listeriosis do not survive. The infection causes meningitis, septicemia, and can spread throughout the body in immunocompromised individuals. Symptoms often appear days or weeks after consumption, making it difficult to identify the source. But contamination is only part of the problem with this product. Nature's Garden mixes contain dried cranberries heavily coated in added sugar. A single 1-ounce serving of this supposedly heart-healthy snack packs 8 grams of added sugar. That is equivalent to 2 teaspoons of pure sugar in what you believe is a health food. Seniors managing diabetes or prediabetes are unknowingly spiking their blood glucose with what they believe is helping their heart. The American Heart Association recommends limiting added sugar to 25 grams daily for women and 36 grams for men. 1 serving of this mix represents almost a third of your entire daily sugar allowance. The omega-3 benefits they advertise are completely negated by the inflammatory sugar load. Sugar drives inflammation. It promotes insulin resistance. It contributes to arterial damage. You think you are helping your heart. You are actually feeding the very inflammation that damages it. Furthermore, mixed seed and nut products face compounded contamination risks that single-ingredient products avoid. Each component comes from a different supplier, potentially in different countries, passes through different processing facilities with different standards and oversight. Each carries its own potential for bacterial or mold contamination. The more ingredients in a product, the more failure points exist in the supply chain. One contaminated almond batch from one supplier, one moldy cranberry shipment from another, one improperly stored pumpkin seed lot from a third source. Any single failure at any point in multiple supply chains compromises the entire final product that reaches your kitchen. You cannot trace which component caused a problem. You cannot avoid it next time. The complexity that makes these products convenient also makes them impossible to verify. The promise was convenient, heart-healthy nutrition in one bag for busy seniors who want to eat right. The reality is contamination history, hidden sugars negating any health benefits, and compounded supply chain risks that make this the single most dangerous seed product for seniors on our entire list. Convenience should never come at the cost of your health. And this product proves that heart-healthy claims on packaging mean nothing without safety to back them up. Now, here is what you have been waiting for throughout this entire video. The seeds that are actually safe for seniors to consume with confidence. First, Go Raw sprouted pumpkin seeds. Go Raw produces their sprouted pumpkin seeds in a dedicated allergen-free facility with rigorous third-party testing for every type of contaminant that threatens senior health. Every batch is independently tested before it ships. Nothing leaves their facility without verification. Their sprouting process naturally reduces enzyme inhibitors that interfere with nutrient absorption, making vitamins, minerals, and proteins significantly more bioavailable for seniors with digestive sensitivities or reduced stomach acid production. When you eat sprouted seeds, your body can actually absorb and use what it is getting rather than passing it through undigested. No added sodium to spike your blood pressure. No artificial flavors or preservatives to trigger reactions. Consistent freshness verified by transparent, clearly printed lot dating you can actually read and understand. You can look at that expiration date and trust it means something because the company stands behind it. Independent lab tests conducted by organizations like the Clean Label Project show no detectable heavy metals or bacterial contamination in Go Raw products. They have received high marks for purity and transparency. For seniors seeking clean, honest seed nutrition without the gambling involved with mass-market brands sold by corporations that prioritize profit over your safety, Go Raw delivers exactly what the label promises. The taste is mild and pleasantly nutty. The texture is perfectly crunchy without dangerous shell variations. And most importantly, you can eat them without worrying about what else might be hiding in that bag. Second, Manitoba Harvest Hemp Hearts. Manitoba Harvest sources their hemp seeds exclusively from Canadian farms, operating under strict agricultural standards and regulatory oversight that exceed American requirements. Every single batch is tested for heavy metals, pesticide residues, and microbial contamination before packaging ever begins. They publish their testing protocols publicly for anyone to review. Transparency is not a marketing claim for them. It is built into their fundamental business model and operations. Their shelled hemp seeds provide complete plant protein containing all essential amino acids and properly balanced omega fatty acids without the risks associated with whole seeds that seniors may struggle to digest. No choking hazard from expanding seeds. No difficulty digesting tough outer shells. Just pure, bioavailable nutrition your body can actually use effectively. The resealable packaging maintains freshness far better than competitors using cheaper packaging materials. And clear, prominent expiration dates ensure you always know exactly what you are getting and when it was packaged. No cryptic lot codes requiring decoder rings. No guesswork about how long something has been sitting in a warehouse. Consistent quality across batches, verified safety through independent testing, and transparent sourcing make Manitoba Harvest the gold standard for seniors adding hemp seeds to their diet. If you want the substantial nutritional benefits of hemp protein and omega fatty acids without the heavy metal concerns that plague other brands, this is the one brand to trust. Not all seeds are created equal. Some can put your health at serious risk, while others offer genuine nutritional benefits that support healthy aging. The difference comes down to sourcing practices, testing protocols, quality control, and transparency. Now you know exactly which brands fail those tests and which ones pass them. Subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided by hidden food dangers again.